Go, more like Pokemon Go.
Ugh. Jeez. That was both a terrible pun and just a terrible content of the pun. I hate because Pokemon Go is terrible, if that was not clear.
Hello and welcome to Elite Full Restore. Hey, remember when we were going to record in the middle of the month, but then didn't do that at all? Hey, I'm Matt.
Is it Ori or is it Zane? Who knows? We have the same voice. It's Zane.
It's
What's
Zane.
up, guys?
Yeah.
I'm here filling in for Ori, because Ori's off enjoying their post-wedding celebrations. Congratulations.
Yeah, Ori found love, and I recording on a Pokemon podcast right now.
That's the same thing.
I know.
You said the same thing twice in a row.
Yeah, oh man, it's just love all around. I do love you, Zane, so it's good that we have you here.
I love you too, Matt. Thanks for having me.
So we're basically just keeping the episodes going. Like, it would have been ideal if we were able to record last week, but we live busy lives.
Yeah, very busy lives of that.
And then also I have things happen, like my mic decides not to work for 2 hours straight and then suddenly starts working again.
Yeah, that was fun. That happened just before we started recording, friends. You get it. There's a little insight into the back end of Elite Full Restore.
I made it the whole way through my recording beer before we started recording today.
Oh no! I didn't even grab a recording beer.
Come on, you gotta get on it.
You're right. We have a lot of terrible beer upstairs, actually.
Yeah, so basically we're kind of just going through a lot of discussion topics that I wouldn't get through with Ori. That's going to be a lot of it.
That's what I'm here for.
A couple of other discussion topics. Like, there's not really much news. Not a huge amount of stuff happening outside of, like, Pokemon Go. And, like, really, like, I could talk about Pokemon Go in a very short amount of time and will. Like, there's not really much going on. Like, there's stuff that I don't know enough about to really talk about. Like, there's Pokemon Duel, the game that everyone forgets exists.
Oh god, yeah, people were telling me to play that the other day, and I was like, what? Some third-party developer got a game on the App Store with Pokemon? They're like, no, it's a real game. And I was like, no, like, what are you talking about? It doesn't exist.
And then, like, Pokken Tournaments got, like, Championship Series stuff going on.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about the regionals and other tournaments later in the show, because there was some really, really, really good battling going on. And, of course, friend of the show, Aaron Cybertron Zhang, actually won the Oregon regional.
Yep. Pretty cool. Pokken actually, just since you brought it up, I think Pokken won the donation drive to get into EVO too, right?
No, it just lost.
Oh, did Marvel win?
Yeah, Marvel won.
Okay, that's fine. I should know that. I do fighting game stuff. But
yeah,
I'm fine with Marvel win.
But like EVO pledged to like donate a bunch of money towards like future Pokken tournaments because they tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it didn't really matter.
Donating a lot of money to Breaks and Hentai.
Yeah, shut up.
It's true.
Do you think they're gonna put a port of Pokken on the Switch? Do you think there's enough support for it?
Well, Nintendo doesn't always go by what there's the most support for in terms of ports. I think it's likely, just given that they did the arcade release for it recently, and like exclusive characters for that and stuff, which have...
Well, I mean, they've been putting out DLC for it. Like, well, they've been putting out like new released characters for the arcade, like since it came out. Whereas,
exactly.
The system launched and they just didn't touch it.
Yeah, I think it actually reminds me of this is so not Pokemon, but it reminds me of Final Fantasy Dissidia, what happened with that game, which is basically exactly the same thing happened with that game. They made an arcade version of it, and then they put out a bunch of stuff for the arcade version, and then they re-released it as the arcade version on the PSP.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So basically they're just going to let the Wii U version languish. So hopefully they'll make a Switch version that'll actually get that stuff, because they're definitely not going to make it for the Wii U version.
No, definitely not.
They're just going to make that fight pad compatible with the Switch, and just fuck it.
Yep. Fuck it.
Moving into distributions, you can get the Mewtwo Megastones now with M2 Descent as the code that you enter in, which is real bad, real dumb code.
All right, Pokemon Company, fucking Shadow the Hedgehog.
Ow, the edge.
That's what I've decided to start doing. is when people are edgy, I'm just gonna call them Shadow the Hedgehog.
But yeah, basically they're putting out every Megastone that they didn't put out before, just like really gradually, which is super annoying. I like to call it the Nintendo Virtual Console strategy.
I mean, it's also the strategy they took with releasing all the legendaries, but that was just exciting because it was legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of those people didn't have. Like, I had them all because I'm vigilant, but
you're you.
I'm me, so I had them. I missed the Megastone distribution for Pidgeot and Steelix because basically they're making it so you have to join their online competitions, which have limited enrollment and also, kind of like limited interest. And then you have to do like a minimum of 3 battles to actually get the Megastones, which you then get as a code. They're not even sent directly to your game.
Oh, jeez.
Why is Nintendo and Game Freak and the Pokemon Company incapable of doing things in a way that's just easy?
Because I don't know. I can't think of anything funny. They're fucking idiots.
I hate that they keep making us use the global link website for things. Let me do
all
functions.
Awful.
Let me use all functions of the game within the goddamn game.
On the game, yeah. So quick side note, Matt. How do you feel about Mega Pidgeot? Because I have opinions about Mega Pidgeot, which I'll reveal momentarily.
It's kind of uggo, but I really like its concept in that it switches its stats out to be like a really cool, high-hitting special attacker.
Which
I think is neat.
That's cool. What I like about Mega Pidgeot is that it looks almost exactly the same as Pidgeot, which is the theme of the Pidgey line. Is just Pidgeotto and Pidgeot look exactly the same, so why wouldn't Mega Pidgeot look almost exactly the same as Pidgeot?
Yeah, basically. Like, it's Pidgeot, but it's got blue on the end of its wings.
And then it has a fucking anime hair lock.
It has goddamn Yu-Gi-Moto hair.
Yeah, it's Yu-Gi-Moto.
Just with a different color. It's got that emo swoop going on.
No, it has Yu-Gi-Moto, and then it also has that other Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist from the one I never watched, Zexal. It's fucking Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal hair.
Good God.
It is, no, because that guy has the forelock like that, right? Wait, actually, I just realized an entire topic that we can talk about that I forgot. I gave my brother Pokemon for his birthday.
Yes.
And he has been playing it. And so I have, in checking in with my brother, he finally beat the Elite Four. It took him, his birthday was in October. But I gave it to him for Christmas, actually. It took him 2 months to beat the Elite Four. Like, He got there within a month, and then it took him 2 months to beat them. And then he's finally gotten Megastones, and now he's just grinding for all of the Megastones.
Yeah, see, but you know what the thing is about the Elite Four?
Well, what?
It's more like Elite Full Restore.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, I went there. Currently, Game Freak is recruiting for console RPG development. And like the specific phrasing that they use is people familiar with Maya, the 3D software, for Wii U and PS Vita were like the spec level that they mentioned. So they're making a Switch game.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that they probably have one more 3DS game under their belt because the way that the Game Freak does parallel development is like when a game is out, they've already been working on the other one for like a year.
Right.
Because that's how it was with Oraz. I'm wondering what kind of thing they can manage for the Switch because they've said previously that since they have 3D fighters in their handheld games that they're not really as keen on making like the console games anymore. But I mean, like, Game Freak never actually made the console games.
Yeah, it was always Genius Sonority.
Well, Genius Sonority for Coliseum, XD, and Battle Revolution, but they had different companies even doing Stadium and Stadium 2. I think something
if we go that far back.
I feel like something like Stadium or Stadium 2 would actually be the best bet. Mostly, like, you can, obviously, like, the idea of the 3D Battler is a lot less, there, but I think just something with, like, a central interface that you can control instead of doing game-to-game, something that's better for spectators, especially because the fact that double battles lag in this, and double battles are also, like, the lead format for competitive battling.
Right, well, that was one of the reasons that people were talking about Stars when people were talking about, it's going to get re-released as being potentially a thing, is people were like, since double battles lag and really just a lot of stuff.
And they had all those
Sun and
walking
Moon.
models that were hidden in the game
Right.
code.
People were like, it's because it's going to be on the Switch, and the Switch will be able to handle that. So
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they'll release the same game for it. I mean,
No,
it's not like it's a
I
thing
don't think so either.
It's not like it's not a thing that they do, because they totally do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'll be a sequel if anything.
Yeah, I would be down for a Battle Revolution type game again.
Because
That would be
like
fun.
one thing like that they've introduced in Sun and Moon is you're able to download like different battle formats and then battle in those battle formats.
Right.
And I would love for like a lot of different battle formats to just be built into this game. Because like I'd love like an official easy way to battle like Little Cup and to battle like all these different like test formats and like all the old formats that they had in like Pokemon Stadium, like Petite Cup. It's like Little Cup, but you could only be small.
I mean, one reason it could be Stars, though, although I do agree that it will not just be that. It would be a sequel. It would not be just a remake. It would be a sequel. One reason it could be Stars instead of a Battle Revolution type thing is I really doubt Game Freak is ever going to have competitive played on anything other than a main series game. Like, it wouldn't be in just a battle sim.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the idea is that you'd still have the main series games, like, actually competing. Like, it would just be a 3DS hookup to a Switch.
Right. Oh, I see. I mean, but then the other thing is that it's a good way to sell Switches, and they've been promoting competitive a little bit more than they usually do.
I mean, I think that's the whole idea with the Switch, right? Is that they're not going to be splitting their market between handheld and console anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they say that they're going to keep supporting the 3DS, and I'm sure they will for about a year and a half. But, like, if they only have one thing to deal with, if they have a Pokemon game, a mainline Pokemon game on the Switch, no one's ever going to be able to compete with them. Like, if they can handle both those markets, they're golden.
Absolutely.
What I'm thinking is that eventually down the road, the Switch itself is going to split. There's going to be like a smaller one that's more portable, and there's going to be one that's beefier for like primarily console play. Like this is definitely going to be a thing they're doing.
That's very in line with what they do with all of their handheld consoles. So handheld consoles.
The 3DS had the 2DS as its cheap version. Yeah. And then they had like the new 3DS, which technically is an iterative version, but is also, if anything, just like an increased power version of the same thing. They have the XL as the bigger version of the thing. And yeah, I don't see them not doing that with the Switch. It just seems like the obvious way to go. And yeah,
I just want to say the new 3DS is actually one of the most cheated I've ever felt by Nintendo.
It's really dumb.
Not in the console itself. Like, the console is fine. It's actually really good and runs really, really well. New 3DS is awesome. But the new 3DS version exclusives, they made it seem like there were going to be a few of them, and there were 5.
Yeah, really bad. And no, the worst part is that like the increased clock speed doesn't even like affect certain games. Like some games, like they'll more efficiently use the proper speed of the game. So like you'll run double battles a bit better on one than you would on a native 3DS, like an older 3DS for Sun and Moon. But like when people have tested it, they've shown that it's not even using its full processing power because it's still kind of like locked down. It's like like only when people like break it and essentially release the clock speed are they able to like just go ham on it.
Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit of Pokemon Go. There was a lot of updates that came since the Johto update, which was like the big update that we mentioned on our last episode. They've changed a lot of the mechanics around the buddy system and the eggs. Some things are just unhatchable, which is super annoying because you can never find them in the wild.
What specifically?
Like Houndour isn't hatchable. Like, I don't understand why they would do that. None of the Johto starters come out of eggs ever.
That's really weird that none of the Johto starters come out of eggs. Because that's like very against how, when I was still playing Pokemon Go, the Kanto starters, like, that was because the Kanto starters were not actually out of rare eggs. They were out
of the common eggs.
They were out of the common eggs, so that's really strange.
Yeah, and right now there's an event going on that's increased to water-type Pokemon, so basically, let's get everyone a Gyarados, the event. And I have every single water Pokemon in the entire goddamn game evolved, except for Totodile, because I haven't seen a single one this entire event. It's garbage.
That's like the one thing I've caught in the brief amount of time I've spent with
Johto. Like, I mean,
I have a Totodile.
I have a Totodile, I just don't have enough to evolve it.
Oh, I
or to
see.
have a spare one around, because I, of course, still living Dex in my Pokemon Go, because that's the kind of person I am.
Jesus Christ, you're...
Yeah. And then the other update that they did is that the 7-day streak, if you hit a Pokestop 7 days in a row, you're guaranteed to get one of those evolution items, so they're not just entirely random drop now, which is good, because that was fucking garbage.
Nice. Yeah, that was stupid.
That's it for Pokemon Go. Back to a nice short segment again, as it belongs.
Yay.
We're going to start getting into our little bit of discussion topics. So, essentially, I read the Pokemon subreddit, like, all the time, against my better judgment, just because I get super bored at work. And
how much prolonged exposure to Reddit, like, what does that do to your brain, being on Reddit that much?
I hate myself and everyone else.
Oh, good.
So anyways, I just saved the discussion topics that I think are interesting. Try to ignore the really, really stupid comments people leave on them. We'll read some of them out because
they're hilarious.
Just hilariously bad. So the first one we want to go is, let's fix these gimmicky Pokemon.
Yep. So
Zane, you want to take point on this one?
Yeah, I mean, so that's referring to a lot of the Pokemon that you see every few gens, where it's like usually a single stage Pokemon, usually has some sort of signature move that defines it. So we're talking Delibird, we're talking Chatot, we're talking Cast Form, what else? Spinda, Kecleon. You guys know. They all have like some sort of unique thing that just applies to them, and they don't really do anything. It's hard to use them for your in-game team. It's hard to use them competitively. And that's sort of sad, a little bit.
Yeah, like they don't get enough love, and there's not really anything you can do with them. And like it just seems unnecessary to have like just complete wallflowers in the game when they can give them something so that they can do something very specifically. So like it doesn't necessarily fit in every team, but it's still able to do something.
Right, because like you got like because Pokemon does a really good job, I think, actually, of making not every Pokemon an insane power level when it reaches its final form, which is good because it's cool to have something like Zigzagoon where you're going to use it, and it's actually quite strong because of how early it evolves into Lanoon, and like Stab Headbutt is crazy when it gets it, and then you're going to ditch it eventually. Like you're almost certainly going to ditch your Lanoon, and it's fine because it was a valued member of your team, but you're never going to pick up a Kecleon and like use it for that little time that it's there, because it's already super just
it's just not worth it. And
not at all.
Yeah, and then even then, like sometimes something that will be like that Zigzagoon Linoon, you'll find like it'll have some kind of very specific niche for it. For example, I have a battling Linoon that has extreme speed and belly drum, and it is super fun to use.
Yeah.
And like just giving it something like that. In this case, it got extreme speed through like a really, really limited event from Pokemon Box in 3rd gen. So like it's pretty hard to get it in that way, like in any way decently useful. But nonetheless, like once that effort's put in, it's something you can use.
Yeah. So in terms of salvaging these Pokemon,
we'll skip Cast Form because I've mentioned it like 3 times in the last couple episodes.
Yes. But the thing is, the problem most of them are facing is that they just have awful stats, like really, really, really awful stats, and that makes it really hard to use. So ignoring that, because I think it's actually more fun. One of the things that I've seen a lot for Spinda specifically is just giving it access to like stuff that would work better with Contrary.
Yeah, like close combat.
Like close combat.
Like just give it a whole bunch of things, like give it Draco Meteor. No, not a serious suggestion. But nonetheless, like if it can learn a couple of things like that, something that would normally drop stats, but it would raise its stats instead. It could be a lot of fun. Something, because then, Contrary is like a super weird thing, and there's only like 2 Pokemon that effectively use Contrary, that being Leaf Storm Superior and Superpower. What's his name? Malamar. That's the one.
Yeah. Who's evil?
Yeah, evil Malamar. Another good way to fix Spinda, of course, is just to give it an evolution. I mean, that's always the easy way out, though. It always seems like kind of the cop-out answer.
Right. And then they lose, because it's cool that they're gimmicky. It is cool that they're gimmick Pokemon and have these unique things.
Yeah.
But although Spinda honestly is like one of the ones where its gimmick has been taken away from it even more.
Yeah.
Because Spinda's whole thing was that it had confusion. Spinda's thing was Teeter Dance, but it couldn't be confused.
Yeah.
So
it's still it's kind of fun in battle royales.
Oh,
but
God,
even then, why would
terrifying.
you could just give a Teeter Dance? You can just give Teeter Dance to a Lilligant instead, who is way better in every way.
Yeah.
Like Lilligant is amazing.
Lilligant is really good.
It has Quiver Dance.
All right, how do you fix Delibird?
Give it some moves. Like its move pool is like its biggest problem. Did you know that it didn't until 6th gen have another level up move?
Than present?
Yeah. Everything.
What does it have now?
Drill Peck. And like that's something, I suppose.
Jeez. I mean, again, we're facing the issue with Delibird where Delibird's stats are just really, really bad as well.
Like give Delibird Explosion.
I think Delibird's one where it could be solved by an ability change. So this is something that would be like more.
Okay. Remember how Delibird had an ability that means that you couldn't put it to sleep, and then when they introduced hidden abilities, they gave it a different ability that prevents sleep.
It can't be. Yeah. Vital Spirit and Insomnia.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Ability change would be very good for it.
Yeah, and then its one other ability is Hustle, which is awful.
Hustle is only good with Delibird in that you can give it Aerial Ace and get a boost to attack and not lose any accuracy. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Because really nothing likes having Hustle unless it has to.
Is Present physical? It is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like it's too variable.
Imagine they give it Hustle and then Present is a special move.
I mean, they would.
Oh God, that'd be so awful.
My favorite is always trying to think of what to do with Chatot, because I think they could do a lot with it by giving it even more gimmicks. Yeah. Because I mean, its gimmick has been stripped from it, like chatter, like being a thing where you can speak into the microphone and basically get it to say "fuck" at your opponent and nothing else. But like, I think that it could do a lot more with sound moves. So I thought of giving it like an ability like Eureka Rio, who people have been effectively using in competition in this VGC season by basically just getting it to switch in and boost a Quiver Dance from something.
Yeah, Eureka Rio's ability being increased priority on dancing.
It's not increased priority on dancing moves. It immediately just mirrors any dancing move made on the stage.
Is that what it does?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So let's say you are.
I'm an idiot.
So what people would do is they would have a Torkoal and a Lilligant on the state on the field. They'd switch out the Torkoal because they'd already put up the Sun. The Eureka Rio comes in. The Lilligant uses like Sun, Chlorophyll, Quiver Dance, and the Eureka Rio that just switched in is able to Quiver Dance with it. And then the Lilligant next turn uses Petal Dance, and then the Eureka Rio does it and also uses its own attack. So you get 3 attacks on that second turn. So with let's try to think of like the list of like sound-based moves.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm trying to look it up right now too, because something else I think that could be interesting for Chatot is like, what if I think most of them already do this actually. Yeah. So there's Boom Burst, Bug Buzz, Chatter. I was thinking, what if it always hit both of the opposing Pokemon? But I think most of the sound moves already do that.
Yeah,
actually.
like that's kind of what their thing is. Which making sound-based moves as a category was a nice way around just giving sound a type.
Yeah, and I think far more elegant.
Yeah, definitely. They're all special too. There's no physical sound moves.
That makes sense.
But yeah, like just like repeating those moves. Like let's say your opponent uses Heal Bell, and then you would just mirror its Heal Bell. Like that would be really good.
That's pretty cool.
Perish Song wouldn't really mean much. Perish Song already hits everyone on the board.
Chatot's new ability is that Perish Song just kills a Pokemon.
Yeah, but like imagine
removes them from your opponent's team forever.
Imagine just coming on the field and you switch it in and you have something using Boom Burst, and then your Chatot comes on and just Boom Bursts the hell out of something.
Yeah.
You don't want 2 Boom Bursts to happen in one turn.
Yeah, but then again, you have Chatot coming in with that big boom burst coming off of what's its special attack stat? Oh, it's actually not bad. Wow.
It's 95,
okay,
isn't it? 92. It's pretty decent.
92.
Like that's
Okay.
like that's I think higher than Xploud's. Xploud being another noted boom burst user. Dude, Xploud rules.
Xcloud, I wish Xcloud was better than it was. It's really not that great.
Well, yeah, it's not great, but it's like such a great design. I love how it looks.
Oh, that's what I mean. I wish Xcloud were more usable.
I still have a battling Xploud with Boom Burst though. Scrappy Boom Burst naturally.
That's pretty cool.
But
kill those ghosts.
It doesn't even have exclusivity to Scrappy Boom Burst anymore because Swellow can get it now.
Oh god, that's so funny.
A Swellow can get Scrappy Boom Burst and also Hurricane, which is cool.
Why can Swellow get Boom Burst?
It loud.
Is it though?
Apparently, I guess that's a bit. Do you have any other ones that you can think of with some ways to switch up gimmicky Pokemon?
Fixing up gimmicky Pokemon. I think there's a lot of things. I mean, we were just talking about Chatot, but I think there's a lot of things you could do with sound moves. I don't know. What if you could do something like with a refrigerate type thing too, where like normal moves become sound moves? That doesn't make sense at all.
Oh, you say that, but that's basically then there's the hidden ability that Primarina gets, where all its sound moves turn to water moves.
Yeah, that is true.
Which give that thing Boom Burst, and then we'll talk.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of cool things you could do with sound moves. You could like increase the chance of a Serene Grace for sound moves might be cool.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how many there are.
Most of them just would cause confusion. I feel like here's another one that someone mentioned in the Reddit thread is Regigigas. Like they're gonna give him a form if they do Sinnoh remakes, right? Like they're gonna give like a primal Regigigas where he doesn't have a shitty ass ability.
Oh god, primal Regigigas.
I would love to see that thing actually usable in battle.
I would, but also I think it would just be terrifying.
Yeah, but that's fine.
God.
Like if it
is cool.
The thing about Regigigas is that a form change would literally only have to change its ability. It wouldn't have to do anything else. Because it's so good.
Here's another good one from Cast Form. That would be cool. Although you've talked about this, but just since we're still talking, but the auto setting weather with the rocks is like that's such an elegant solution.
Yeah, like that's you wouldn't even have to like alter its stats and make it actually good stat wise. Like that would help, but like its niche would be setting weather. So like you would already have like that, and also giving it a sandstorm form so it can.
Yeah, that's so dumb. And yeah, you talked about that last time, but like sandstorm is.
Well, essentially, it can get a rock-type weather ball, but it can't get stab on it.
Right.
So that's dumb.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go with one more, since this isn't really a gimmicky Pokemon. This is just how to fix a Pokemon that's kind of bad. Give Auroras Aurora Veil.
Oh, yeah. That is one of the things I'm the most angry about. Although Auroras would still be awful with Aurora Veil.
Ice needs more to do. I feel like Ice should resist water. I've mentioned this enough times that it should just be canon already.
It does make sense for Ice to resist water. A lot of sense. Ice is such a frustrating typing to have. I feel like all the Ice types are on the sidelines watching people use their moves and be good with them, and like, well, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, like it's to be a good Ice type, you have to have so much other shit going for you.
Yeah, there's like how many are there? Any what Ice types are in OU right now?
I'm not sure about right now, but
or like ever have been in OU.
Mamoswine, Weavile. Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head.
That's and even then, both Mamoswine was actually really popular. Weavile was like the bottom of OU. Kyurem Black is in OU because it has. It's
a ludicrously powerful.
It's a legendary. Yeah, and then Weavile does have a cool Ice Shard going for it.
Yeah, and Mamoswine's in OU again, so Mamoswine's still around.
Yeah. Is it? It's not right now.
I just looked at it. And,
no, it's still on.
So yeah,
it's still on XY. My bad.
Well,
yeah, okay, you're right.
But now that I mentioned Regigigas having a form, can we like talk about how Sinnoh's confirmed?
Yeah, Sinnoh is definitely confirmed.
Like Sinnoh is absolutely confirmed.
If you played Sun and Moon, you should know this already. Primary like reason being Silvally, I guess. is literally just Arceus. Like it's Arceus Mini. It's Arceus's son.
I hate that they made it. They couldn't just use the stupid plates for it, and they had to make like a different thing.
The CDs.
Yeah, these little memories, and they give you 100 bajillion of them, as if Pokemon needs better inventory management. I hate that they got rid of the item PC. There are so many items I never need until I need them, and I don't need to carry them in my goddamn bag all the time.
Sun and Moon actually was definitely one of the... I've not really dealt with it that much in other games, but in Sun and Moon, I was like, wow, I have to scroll so far to find the stuff that I
X
want.
and Y were the same way, because like the item PC was gone in Gen 6. It was still there in Gen 5 as far as I remember.
But the other thing is that the way that items are sorted makes no sense in Sun and Moon
I'm used
whatsoever.
to it at this point, but it's still bad.
Oh, I'm used to it, but it's so dumb because the fucking like Pokeballs are in a bag, like they're in a pocket with other stuff.
You know what the most annoying part about that is when you sort them in your bag, when you go into battle, they end up in that order. So, like, if you have them sorted by name because you needed to find something, then it always puts Beast Balls first.
Well, the other thing that's really annoying is that they are different sorting systems for when you're in battle and out of battle.
Yeah, Hondo. I hate that.
Ugh,
yeah, they're putting
so
different
dumb.
pockets then. Yeah, just, like, they need better inventory management in general, and having the item PC back would be the easiest way around that. But anyway, Sinnoh's still confirmed.
It is,
There's alternate dimension stuff in Burnett's lab, and it mentions Palkia, Giratina, and Bronzong as things that like deal with other dimensions. Can we talk about confirmed? Those are all Sinnoh Pokemon.
Yeah, and then Looker is like the primary part of the post game, which is not super a thing because he was in X and Y too, but. It's more of a thing.
Like I don't want to get into like how weird the timeline has ended up now in Pokemon because like it was a pretty goddamn linear timeline before they just decided to be like, yeah, but there's like these weird wormholes and also like maybe alternate universes going on now. We pulled this person from that other timeline. That's why you had no battle tower in Oras. Like fuck you, fuck off, and fuck you. Also, like, I swear to God, if the next game doesn't have some kind of battle facility in it, I'm gonna be so pissed. Like, I hate the stupid battle tree. I hate the single battle in one direction kind of battle post game. I just want places where you could do weird shit, like different battle types. Please give me that.
I didn't know there was a British boy band in Sun and Moon.
Fuck you. The Sinnoh Pokedex is the least represented in Sun and Moon's decks, which is the exact way Hoenn was in X and Y. And like X and Y, it was a bit more obvious because X and Y's Pokedex was fucking massive. Like it was literally like 450 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Whereas like Sun and Moon's is a little small. Like it's 400 total, but there's a lot of repeats between them, so it's pretty small overall. I think it's exactly 300 with the new Pokemon in it.
And then there's the fact that, like, we're talking about, Alola's whole thing is, we're in tune with our Pokemon and we ride them. But Sinnoh was an absolute nightmare to traverse, because it's based on, like, a really rural region of Japan. And so you had 8 HMs in Sinnoh, which was... If you look
at 4th gen in general, there were 9 HMs in that generation because of Whirlpool.
Yeah. Whirlpool and Defog just have a competition for which is the more useless HM.
Like Defog has like competitive use now, so I hope they make some way where you can learn Defog, because really it's restricted to so many Pokemon. And then of course you have to remember which battle format you're in and if Pokemon from 4th gen are even valid anymore.
Yeah, and then Sinnoh also, in terms of repeats from Johto game design, Sinnoh also had the classic, here's an HM that you barely use involving rocks that's going to be a TM in every other generation with Rock Climb.
Oh my god. Rock Climb is not even a good move either. It's a normal type move.
I definitely used it a lot, though, because you get it surprisingly early and like can teach it to almost everything in the game.
Yeah. A lot of things learned it, and it's like it was stronger than strength, and it had like a confusion chance, so like it was the better move out of those two to give.
But is it 100 accuracy, or
I think it's like 80.
It's 80 or something,
it's
right?
Something stupid and low.
It was 85.
Yeah, man. I hope that if they do institute something, like, it's like the whole like ride Pokemon is kind of like a cultural thing. That's the idea in Alola. So like if they introduce something close to it in Sinnoh, it'd be nice. I hope that the rental Pokemon for everything except for Fly is a Bibarel.
Oh god, that would be so meta.
Like it is every Pokemon. It's just let's just call up like a herd of Bibarel to go help us through this.
Well, and Bibarel is semi-useful now because it got it has simple sword stance, which is
terrifying. There's ×4 attack. Or I mean like +4 attack, which is ×3, I think. It's ×3.
You know what I just realized?
What?
You know why Rock Climb confuses your opponent?
Why?
Because you use it on them, and they're like, why isn't this a fucking rock-type move?
It has the accuracy of a rock-type move. The last point we had for the Sinnoh confirmed was kind of a trivial one. The breeders at the daycare are the exact same drawing model as the ranchers from Diamond and Pearl. Which that was kind of a thing between I think there was something like that with like some of the maybe the swimmer models or something between X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. It's like just reusing old character types.
Interesting.
Yeah, so just like little design decisions that kind of hint you towards it. And then of course like in Diamond and Pearl there was just like Johto references fucking everywhere.
Yeah, that was a
like
lot.
Ludicrously obvious.
I just want to take a moment to say that Sinnoh was actually the first gen to give, like, I think it was the first time I remember where there was just, you know, they give you the extremely long route next to the daycare to just hatch things on. Yeah. Gen 3 has it, but you have to move a little bit, and it's also not that long. Sinnoh has that. It also has that you can just, like, go up the sandy slopes right next to it and fall down a bunch.
Yeah.
And Sun and Moon fucked that up horribly. I hate how you do hatch eggs in Sun and Moon.
Yeah, you have to just go into that little the
little
hole and just wiggle in the hole. That's horrifying sentence.
So awful. God, the best one was XY.
I liked
sure.
I liked Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Where was it in there?
It was on the Battle Island. Like you just had to like hold up. And you would just move in a loop.
Yeah, that's what XY
was
too.
XY's was Except XY's was really nice because you could just like stick a dime underneath your circle pad and it would keep you rotating.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Whereas you can't do that in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphires because it has to be precise, or else you'll move off the specific tile you have to be on. But yeah, I hate hatching eggs in Sun and Moon, even though it is faster. Like, it takes far less steps.
Right, but I want to not have to move my hands or actually be playing the game while I do
Yeah, well, I mean, I just often will throw things in the Pokepelago and then just close my game. I fucking love the Pokepelago.
Pokepelago really is great. Pokepelago.
That's how I EV trained all my old legendaries. I just threw them all in there, and it took me like 3 days maybe, and I had to do very little active playing of the game to do it.
Yeah, Sun Moon really has hit the two ends of the scale in terms of the add-ons, like the little accessories, and that Pokepelago is amazing and Festival Plaza is fucking trash.
Yeah, Festival Plaza is annoying. There's like some of the things that you could do more easily with Festival Plaza are things that should just be available in the game in the first place. Like currently I have like three of like the like treasure hunt stalls. Basically talk to each of them every day and it's like a lottery, and I'm using that to get bottle caps very, very gradually so I can use them on my Pokemon.
Yeah.
But like you should just be able to find bottle caps more than one place. The current only place you can ever find them is you get them sometimes from fishing in rare fishing spots.
Yeah, bubbling fishing spots will give occasionally.
Hey, Sinnoh confirmed. The underground?
Oh, the underground was amazing.
That would be a very good way to do that. And like, well, in Pokepelago, there's that one island where they search for treasure and shit. Like they could basically functionally retroactively work that to be the underground, where your Pokemon just go into the underground, but you could also go in and start hacking at stuff. I really like the underground.
Totally forgot about the underground, and it was awesome. I loved the digging for fossils and jewels minigame.
Yeah,
that was just so
and like
fun.
That's an easy spot to put bottle caps.
Yeah, it is. The underground also features one of the more frustrating, but still not as frustrating as Festival Plaza features of any Pokemon game, which is getting Spiritomb.
Oh, good Christ. I gave up and went with GTS right away.
Oh, really? I did it. I did made all those friends in the underground.
Good God. Technology sure is amazing. We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that. Right, the other thing the Festival Plaza, just briefly, the other thing I use it for is I have like these 2 rare kitchens set up. The effort you have to go through to get a rare kitchen, let alone 2, is fucking staggering. And it is basically the only way to level up your Pokemon to level 100 in any sane measure. And it still takes so much goddamn time, because the level curve in this game, I really do appreciate the level curve being like Gen 5, where if your Pokemon are like really low, they'll level up faster. But the problem with that kind of level curve is you need high-leveled things to battle, or else you have a functional cap at whatever the highest leveled things are, and the Elite Four is like level like 65 in this game. Like,
yeah, and then what Gen 5 did amazingly is that there was Gen 5 is the highest level curve in terms of just like how high things get as well, and that was awesome.
There were so many post-game areas where you could battle shit, like there was like the Elite Four, of course, and the Elite Four was like really high leveled in that game. Like the Elite Four in Black and White, I think were like level 76, and if you had hard mode enabled, they were over level 80. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
like they got really up there. And
I'm pretty sure they were over level 80 because I remember.
Plus, there's like the white tree or the black tower in Black 2 and White 2, and like you could go grind experience in there like so easily because there was always a trainer with Chanseys and Blissies. And of course, like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire just had Blissey bases, and I'm hoping that Blissey bases can come back if they reinstitute the Underground.
Yeah, that's a good point. Underground has secret bases. I was more into. I always felt a little bit cheat when I was using Blissey bases, even though it was hilarious. I like fighting in-game people to level up for some reason.
I don't like doing that all the way to 100 because I just do not have the time.
All the way to 100 is a little rough, I'll admit.
Mind you, my Mudsdale hit level 100 the other day.
Oh, really?
Because it's like my most durable guy, so I always have him in my party, and he hit level 100.
Speaking of my brother, his Mudsdale is his carry.
It's good. It's very good. We were going to talk about the breakdown of teams from the One Nation of Gamers tournament. The only reason we're not using a more recent one is because I literally just had the link handy, and it was very helpful. But they did have the Oregon Regionals last weekend, and Aaron Cybertron Zhang won, so that can take the sting off the fact that he got second in this tournament.
Well, you know what the adaptation he made to win is that he put Drifblim on his fucking team.
Yeah, he took Drifblim from the guy that won.
Exactly. If you have Drifblim, you win, apparently.
Yeah, so the winner was Shade Vieira, who is a Japanese player. And, like, essentially the One Nation of Gamers tournament, which was sponsored by Geico, was an invite-only tournament. And as I was saying last week, I thought it was really cool that, like, Pokemon kind of has its scene now. Like, we're finally getting there as, like, as an esport. It's, like, still, it's very small, but, like, it's a start.
It was a really cool, I actually watched a little bit of it, and it was just really cool seeing, seeing Wolfie tweet about it too, and everyone was such good friends there, and you saw like Wolfie ran a team with Snorlax and Alolan Executor, because when you have an invitational you can fucking do that.
Yeah, like you don't have to really worry. Like he didn't do great.
No, he got last. He tied for last.
A supportive Tapu Fini with light screen. Love it. But yeah, God. He had fun with his team. And like Alolan Exeggutor is still really fun to use. I want someone to go to a tournament with a Pyukumuku. Like someone's going to do it.
I think that Pokemon has a lot of potential.
Yeah, like there's a lot you can do with it. Yeah. Everything but actually dealing direct damage. But yeah, Shady's winning team was Drifblim, Magnezone, Tapu Lele, Pheromosa, Gyarados, and Garchomp. So you're going to see a couple of common threads through the teams in this environment. One, like there's going to be a Tapu on everyone's team. That's just how it is. Whether they go with Lele or Finny, those are the two more common ones. Like, you'll still see Tapu Koko, but usually only in addition to a different one.
Yeah.
And if people are using Tapu Bulu, it usually just means that they're really, really trying to keep a fire or electric type alive.
Yeah, just very scared of Earthquake.
Yeah. So those are the primary reasons you're going to use those. So that essentially not necessarily Earthquake. What's like the one easy way around that is that I'm pretty sure that Tectonic Rage is not affected by that.
Oh, interesting.
And Tectonic Rage is very, very popular in the current meta. Like, every single Garchomp is running it.
That's cool.
Because Garchomp likes the ability to actually target one target, and also Garchomp likes the ability to avoid Wide Guard. So one thing that was happening in the tournament, the Portland regionals over the weekend, is that essentially they tricked the Garchomp into using his Tectonic Rage, and then basically just Wide Guarded constantly.
That's so smart.
And then eventually because the Tapu Koko had no moves that could do like a super amount of damage to it, and so basically it was just a constant like stall game to see if the Gigalith would try to attack. If the Gigalith tried to attack, it couldn't use Wide Guard, and then what the Tapu Koko could do was basically just try to Sky Drop it eventually or Protect. So the Sky, like, it tried to stay alive. And if ever the Gigalith went for an attack, then the Garchomp would have to know and use Earthquake. Like, it was really tense. And, like, it was one of the best sets I've ever seen.
That's awesome. I think that actually that's one of the coolest things that Z-moves have done for the competitive metagame is having a resource, an expendable resource beyond just PP is, like, adds a whole new level of when you're going to use that resource. And then if you read that, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more fun than the Mega Evolutions were in previous gens meta.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched the entire thing on Nugget Bridge's stream, which had Dewey Ha as one of the commentators, and he's always just really, really great to have. And their commentator team is, well, I mean, most of them have done official commentating for Nintendo, and I think that actually was a Nintendo stream just on Nugget Bridge's Twitch channel. So if you guys want to watch that, I'll put the link in the description afterwards to watch some of those battles.
That's really cool.
Just a couple more pieces of news. The next global mission is egg hatching. So if you guys if just getting the points for Festival Plaza honestly makes Festival Plaza a lot more usable. Just having festival points makes Festival Plaza usable. And the only way really to get them without playing 100 million minigames is just to participate in the event. And this one is going to be a smash. They can make it 100 million eggs, and it's still going to get beaten in 3 days. There's no goddamn way.
Egg hatching's easy. Everyone's going to be hatching. Every competitive battler is hatching like 30 eggs a day anyway.
Like the goal... Like, I didn't get to mention this on the previous episode because it had only just started, but the goal for the last event was 250,000 battle points at the battle tree. They hit 8 million.
Yeah, that's...
Like, there's no way this isn't going to get smashed because we're way too organized now. So literally all you have to do is go register and then take, there's usually some minimum you have to do to get the other rewards, which is usually like one of the apricorn balls and a couple of rare candies. Like, last time it was 5 battle points. Like, that's nothing. And this will be, like, maybe 10 eggs. Go hatch some Magikarp. They hatch the fastest.
Oh, Matt with the trick.
Yeah. The next one is that there's a couple new themes on the 3DS shop. One of them is Guzma. It plays Guzma's battle music, and it's real good, because he has, like, the best battle music in the game.
Yeah, that's actually... I will say the Sun and Moon music did not grip me nearly as much as other things have. Although it's still really, really
I don't
good.
think Pokemon has had generally gripping music since 4th gen. Like, really, like, that's the last time I felt really, really into the music in general. Like Cynthia's theme, the Route 207 theme that's just 21 Guns by Green Day. Like that game had a really good sound font and just really, really good setup for all its music. And everything since then hasn't been the greatest. 5th gen had a couple of memorable tunes.
5th gen does some cool
6th gen was
orchestral stuff.
6th gen was a fucking waste. Like, there was just nothing, no character to that music whatsoever.
But you got more horns.
Yeah, and Sun and Moon has, like, its Pokemon Center theme is the best thing about it. The fucking ukulele Pokemon Center theme is sick.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's good.
The last point I had that before we get into the questions was just, why don't transformed Ditto have the Ditto face?
It's a good question.
There's no answer really to that. Although there is new merch in the Pokemon Center store, and if anyone buys me the Magnemite with a Ditto face, I will let you on this show.
Yeah, if you guys have whoa, high stakes there. If you guys haven't seen the Magnemite with the Ditto face, it's hilarious because the Magnemite eyeball just goes away.
Yeah, it's just a little face in there instead. It's fucking wonderful. We'll get to some questions because we don't have that many this week.
No.
Synthophone asks, what are some animals or concepts that you're surprised haven't been made into Pokemon yet? Or some that have been done that you would like to see done again differently?
I want to see that one, oh god, what's it called? Everyone always brings it up. It's that blue tentacle, like, sea monster thing.
The sea slug? The
Yeah, the
Glaucus
sea slug.
Atlanticus?
Yeah, that thing. That thing's sick.
Yeah, that one comes up so often, and I'm really glad that, like, almost every fan game project has one now because of how often it gets brought up.
I mean, it just is amazing.
One thing I'm going to link in the description is something called Idea Decks. Like, someone made a blog where it's basically just they'll reblog animal inspirations where anyone says something like, why isn't this a Pokemon? So, like, there's the glabrous slipper lobster, and it's just a lobster with a cute face.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's for me, it's generally going to be a lot of bugs. I don't know why there hasn't been, like, a fly or a mosquito yet, for example. Like, those are real obvious bug creatures that just have not gone anywhere.
Yeah, Bogleech is very upset that Pokemon 666 was not a fly, especially because it was at the correct point to be an early bug type.
Yeah.
And instead it was Vivillon, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah, it was. And I guess for mosquito, we do have Buzzwole, but I feel like, you know how I am. I'm like, like, that's a weirder design. I could, like, a traditional Pokemon of the mosquito vein would be really good, and I think it'd be really fun. Give it an ability that, like, boosts the power of its draining moves, which I'm amazed isn't a thing yet.
One that I want to see done again that is absolutely not going to happen again just because it's a legendary is the one they did it with, but I really do not. I like Manaphy as a Pokemon. It does not do the things that are cool about Sea Angels to me, which is that they're transparent and you can see, like, the red heart type thing inside of it.
I can see why they wouldn't have done that then, but now that they have, like, you know, increased graphical capability, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
I want things with translucent skin all over.
Yeah.
Brooks asks, I know you said no joke questions, and I want to honor that. Asking seriously, which starter from each generation would you like to take to prom, and which one of them would you most like a kiss from at the end of your magical evening? First of all, fuck you, Brooks.
Okay, which one would I most likely... Okay, so are we talking any starter, or first stages, or second? Because if it's any stage, it's obviously Empoleon you take to prom. That's, like, the easiest answer.
I feel like Empoleon's my dad, and...
But also your date to prom. It was just like my actual prom.
I would take an Ivysaur to prom because they just got a little corsage on them already.
Oh, that's cute.
Also, vine dancing, that's going to be like a sick prom limbo right there.
But yeah, Empoleon's the obvious.
That says from
obvious
each
one.
generation, but I'm not going to go through every generation. My answer is Ivysaur.
Oh, Jesus. And then which Pokemon would I most like a kiss from? Fuck you, Brooks.
It's obviously Braixen. We're all furries here. We're Pokemon fans.
Braixen hentai. More Pokken.
Braixen hentai. It's time. Freemasonic Yowl asks, not Fakemon, but Fake Game Mon, have you played the ROMhack Pokemon games, and if so, what's the best? The fun secret about Pokemon ROMhack games is that none of them are fucking good. Like, some of them
are terrible.
Some of them are technical marvels in how much people manage to get done with them. Like, the lone exception to the not good clause is Pokemon Prism, because Pokemon Prism was worked on for so fucking long, and like this guy instituted like an RPG like class system into like the trainer. The trainer could level up mining skills.
Yeah, Prism is actually really good. All Pokemon ROMhacks are terrible because they're usually made by one person who has spent 3 years and came up with the idea when they were 15.
Yeah. The main problem with Pokemon ROMhacks is that the primary time that they were viable was 3rd gen. 3rd gen led to essentially the Pokemon ROM hacking community became really big at that point, and a lot of people who were like super early on the scene created tools to allow people to more easily alter things in the games instead of just doing manual hex editing, which is what all those guys did. But then, like, no one ever got credit for the tools. They were kind of just traded around like freeware. No one got any credit. And essentially, they stopped making tools after 3rd gen. The problem is those tools were so readily available that a lot of people thought they could make a game just because they had this available to them. But they didn't know the basic principles of game design.
Yeah, so like, a good example of that is one of the first big ones that actually, like, was finished to completion is Pokemon Quartz.
Yeah.
Which is a marvel in terms of the guy who made it, Barrow. He changed like every line of dialogue in the game.
He made a lot of it about himself, mind you.
A lot of it's about himself. He did original sprites for everything, but this is an example of one of those guys who, you know, this is all him using tools to replace stuff for the most part and just edit like strings. And so a lot of the Pokemon are just Pokemon that were in 3rd gen. And so they have the same stats and the same move pool.
He did change a couple of the move pools around a good bit. But like, let's say, for example, Plug Oink, who's by far my favorite of all his Pokemon, because it's got a little plug tail, and then it's got little socket nose, and that's super cute. But you'd notice by looking at it that its exact sprites, like its sprite palette is Electrike. And that's because it's just Electrike. Like, that's what it is.
And there's some weird stuff with that, too, because I learned how to start spriting in Gen 3 and make Pokemon sprites. Gen 3 has some cool sprites. They're really expressive. There's also, like, it is the generation where by far there is the most variance and there's no, like, standard as to what the sprites are supposed to look like. Yeah. Like, go look at Lombre's sprite for a second.
It's so faded out.
The guy who made that sprite just didn't put black outlines, which is not true of any other Pokemon sprite in the generation. It's just, it's really weird. And then Lotad too. Lotad is at like an angle that nothing else is at. Like, it's just really weird.
Yeah, and then they also had like the smallest amount of sprite space. Like, it's amazing that so many Pokemon fan games and ROM hacks ended up around that time because you were so limited by 64 by 64 for your sprite space. Whereas, 4th gen, you had your 80 by 80, which is a lot less restrictive.
80. Oh my god, I remember how good it felt when we got 80 by 80. That was a good
The other obvious ROM hack to mention is Pokemon Chaos Black, because that's not only one that got finished, but it's one that got reproed onto carts and sold into, like, bootleg stores. Yeah. I used to know the guy who did that, and I also met Barrow, like, back in my travels, because, like, I was around the Pokemon ROM hacking community for ages when I was in the Pokemon fan game community. Because these were the guys who were also ripping assets to be used by people's fan games, and I was always like in with the fan games. And that guy is a character. We had a lot of really like bold ideas for ROM hacks we'd eventually make that I would basically just like, I did the thing where I give ideas and say, hey, you know how to do the work, do the work.
That sounds about right.
That's how I am with all projects.
One other thing you guys should check out, there is a legendary Let's Play of Pokemon Quartz.
Oh my god, it's so good. I'm linking that too.
Yeah, please do. It has aged somewhat dubiously. It was a different time. Yeah. There are some jokes that are not appropriate, that are quite offensive.
There's rape jokes in it. There's several.
There's rape jokes. There's several rape jokes in it. It's a running theme. So keep that in mind. Trigger warning for that. But the rest of the content it's a really good showcase of how fucking ridiculous Quartz is, because it is really hard to play all the way through Quartz to maintain the willpower to do it.
Yeah. That they made their character go insane at the end made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Do you know my first ever shiny Pokemon was playing through Quartz?
No.
It was shit, what is it called? It's the one that's a spoon. It's just like a spoon on 4 legs. Oh god.
How does the vine on Victreebel's back attach to its body? I thought maybe the leaf trap was sort of a flap attached to its weird head lip, but back sprites seem to just have it floating there. Could you take away Victreebel's doodly snoot?
Snoodly Snood.
As far as I can tell, it's attached by the leaf, and like the vine is extraneous. Because I don't think do you ever see the leaf leave?
Oh, interesting.
Do you see the leaf leave? Or I'm pretty sure the leaf is always there.
Yeah, so I mean the leaf is just like the leaf is what's attached because it's the bottom of the mouth. It's the bottom.
That's what it's going for.
Yeah. But it is something I've not thought about, and now that I see it, it makes me think that I could grab a Victreebel by the vine and then like swing it around.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Like a sort of flail. Which is cool.
Yeah, the Victreebel flail. It's perfect. Would you rather erase from that question was asked by Desu Meow Meow Neko Kitty Chan, and I hate you for making me say your name. This question is asked by Executor. Would you rather erase from history all baby Pokemon or all 4th gen new evolutions? And obviously we have to choose one of them. But do not forget Porygon Z.
Which, Porygon Z is great. I'm pretty sure I would do baby Pokemon.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
let's do it like a quickie run through baby Pokemon. There is literally only 2 that are worthwhile, and one doesn't kind of count because both Togepi and Riolu were released the same gen as their later Pokemon.
Right.
They were just put into the category because they're not able to breed. They have special moves and whatnot.
Yeah, I think.
But the only baby Pokemon that is worthwhile is Elekid.
Elekid is great. I love Elekid. Has a very different personality from his adult friends. He's a little spunky dude. I'm a fan of him. There's some other.
Oh, why not? Why not's also worth it.
Why not's great. I think Bonsly is a cool dude.
Yeah. I don't care for Munchlax.
Munchlax is whatever. Don't care about Mantike, don't care about Riolu. Happiny is actually awful. I hate Happiny.
It's the worst piece of fucking garbage.
Azurill is fun just because of the switching thing.
It doesn't do that anymore.
I know, but it did at one time.
Yeah, because they decided to put different gender ratios for it.
Yeah, baby Pokemon are I don't feel that bad about most of them. I do like Togepi a lot. I've always loved Togepi. But it's barely a baby Pokemon. Tyrogue is fine. Like they're all fine. I'm not super.
I always wondered why they never made a baby Pokemon that bridged Miltank and Tauros.
Yeah, well, and even weirder is that in Sun and Moon, since Pokemon are organized by page, Miltank and Tauros are on the same page.
Yeah.
Like and they can breed. Like it's
they can breed together, but they don't produce They produce only themselves. I'm pretty sure.
Only themselves. Yeah.
It's not like the Nidoran and Volbeat and Illumais where they produce each other.
It's weird. And then there's a ton of cool. I like most of the 4th gen evolutions. I do too. Both of they're the 2 worst.
Rhyperior, bad.
Rhyperior is pretty awful.
Magmortar could be better, but I don't hate him as much as most people do.
I don't really like Magmortar or Electivire that much. They're just weird looking. Mamoswine is sick. Frostlass is awesome.
Yeah,
I love Frostlass
is extremely good. Gallade I can go either way.
Gallade, yeah, I used to be super into Gallade, but not anymore. Tangrowth is awesome.
Tangrowth is extremely good. Lickilicky, it makes me uncomfortable.
Lickilicky is weird. I always forget it exists, and I'm fine with that. Duskmars, whatever. Porygon Z is awesome.
Oh, Gliscor owns. Super good.
Gliscor owns. Togekiss is a little chubby friend who I'm fine with.
I love that its face just becomes part of its body.
Yeah, Yanmega's sick.
Yep.
Like super cool. Although I will say my one qualm with Yanmega, I know you read Bogleach's Pokemon
of
reviews,
course,
as should everyone, and he very correctly says Yanmega is awesome because it's like a prehistoric dragonfly monster that just flies around eating stuff. The one problem I have with it is that I wish it weren't like army camo.
Yeah.
Because part of what makes Yanma so cool is that it's just bright green and red.
Yeah. So if it was like that bright blue that sometimes dragonflies are, like it had like that blue accenting on it, that would be really good.
That would be so
I don't know what its
cool.
shiny looks like. It might actually be something like that.
I think it's black.
We have one more question that I'm actually super excited to finally be able to get to.
Yes.
Stephanie said, "Rank the technology is incredible, guys, from best to worst." So I'm gonna quote each of them in sequence.
All right.
Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, and then Fire Red and Leaf and say, "Technology is incredible. You can now store and recall items." Actually, no, this will take too long. Let's just look and pick. Let's look and pick.
Okay. Wait. We have to say it double blind, like at the same time, because I don't want to know what you think before I choose mine. So give me a few seconds. We can edit this out.
We're not going
to. Let me
choose. That takes too long.
I
got mine.
Okay, I have mine too.
3, 2, 1. X
Diamond,
and Y.
Pearl, and Platinum. Ooh, a difference. Okay, you go first.
Ours are they're almost the exact same thing though. So X and Y. Science is amazing. If you use communication technology, you can look all over the world for players who are playing at the same time as you are, and start podcasts with them.
And then Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum is technology just blows me away. I mean, now you can play with people around the world wirelessly.
And start podcasts with them.
Wirelessly.
That's exactly it. Basically, yeah, they'll say something about a different feature of each of the games, and I like how the X and Y one says you can look all over the world for players who are playing at the same time as you are, and then they kind of shunted that off to the festival plaza. Fuck you.
That's a good point. The reason I like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum is because of the tension that exists in that he says, I mean, now you can play with people around the world, and then there's an ellipsis, and then he goes wirelessly. Which is fun. I mean, the actual best one, but it's sort of a cop-out, is the gold, silver, crystal one, which is you can now trade Pokemon time/overseas. I don't know, like email, which is just a wonderful little peek into the era that game was released in.
Oh, it's you could trade. I don't know why it says time there, but overseas is for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, specifically because they had the online features in it.
Oh no, and it's over time because that's what it is.
Okay.
Because in the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal, there was the time capsule to get it from first gen. So that one's actually
I really like
pretty
that
good
one. Yeah,
too.
no, that one's really good. And yeah, so I can finally link these along with pictures of what each of the guys look like. Yeah. If we're going to go purely by description, even though I don't have it up right now, the best one is obviously Ruby Sapphire because he's the fattest one. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's the fattest one. The Gen 3 fat sprites were very good. I do like the Gen 2 Fatman sprite as well. Because that's the one with the pink
and then of course
right?
the worst for that would be the X and Y one. Because they just put a hiker.
Yeah,
like they didn't want to make a 3D fat guy, so they just put a goddamn hiker. Goddamn cop out.
I remember being actually upset about that when I saw it. Although it looks like Gen 5, he's not a fat man.
Yeah, he was weirdly skinny for that one. In the one based on America. That's my sweet joke. Anyway, we've been going for like a full hour here. This has been a good long one. Remember how we said it would be short and then it wasn't?
Yeah, no, we had a lot to talk about.
I got to clear out a good amount of the queue of like old stuff that we hadn't had a chance to get to, so that's always good too.
Yeah.
We're just gonna end with one more thanks Bulbapedia for you guys.
Oh yes, it's a good one.
Yeah, Zane, you just talk about your. I guess you just like plug your social medias before I do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm on Twitter at Epengu, EPENGU. That's pretty much it. I don't know. I commentate Smash tournaments sometimes. You can watch those. I guess if you want to see me commentate Smash, I'm probably going to be more active commentating the New York City weeklies, Nebulous, so you can tune in Saturdays, Twitch TV/Nebulous Smash, which is cool. But that's all Smash stuff. And then, I don't know, DM me if you want my friend code.
There we go. Hey, remember how there's still friend codes on the Switch right now?
Let's not talk about it.
Here's our thanks Bulbapedia for the day. Keep in mind that slathering honey on trees in real life will not attract Pokemon. Thank you.
You have to put up a.
Thank you and good night. Have a good one, guys. See you in, I don't know, late April probably. Bye.
Bye, guys. But Matt, they didn't the new Pokemon Switch game already come out?
Pardon me?
This is a new Pokemon Switch game. You know, it's like people are all everyone's playing it. You know, it's all people are all up in arms about it because it's like it's all open world and it's just really expansive, and people are like, wow, what a new direction for the series, and also the main character is sort of androgynous now. You know the new Pokemon game?
Yeah. Where are you going with this bit?
The new Pokemon Breath of the Wild. Isn't that what everyone's
Great.
playing?
Anyway, I'm trying to think of what they would be able to do for it. I'm fully cutting that joke, by the way. I hope you know that.
That's fine.
Because it had no punchline. There's no joke there.
It's fine.
So you need to calm down so that you're not laughing for no reason.
Okay, I'm calm.